Saturday morning. Welcome to the Saturday Sports Page. I'm your host, Tom Schmitz, live from the WOCA studios here at the Paddock Mall in beautiful Brick City of Ocala, Florida. I'm joined this morning by intern Luke. Luke, how's your weekend going so far?
Pretty good. It's the weekend, so it's usually good.
Great golfing day. We're looking out the window of WOCA, not a cloud in the Carolina blue sky. For those of you that don't know, the reason I refer to it as Carolina blue sky, because of Carolina. Tar Heels, big Tar Heels basketball fan. So I was not as affected this week as, let's say, a lowly intern may be, when the announcement was made that Billy Donovan has left the University of Florida after 19 years as a head coach, 2 national championships, countless trips to the Sweet 16, 2 seasons ago a trip to the Final Four, took a school that had some success under Norm Sloan and Lon Kruger in certain situations, certain years with basketball, but took a school who was an SEC power in football and transformed it into a national power in basketball. Jeremy Foley, the athletic director at Florida, took a flyer 19 years ago on a little-known basketball coach at Marshall University. He had played under Rick Pitino at Providence, tried his hand in the NBA for a minute, then started on the coaching circuit, was hired from Marshall to the University of Florida. People were like, Billy who? And now, in my estimation, the O'Connell Center, when it gets its improvements, it should be the O'Connell Center, but the floor should be the Billy Donovan gym floor, or the Billy Donovan, I don't know how you do that, but it's what's the Cameron Indoor Stadium, but it's Mike Krzyzewski Court. I think the same should be done for Billy Donovan. Am I far off there, Luke, or you think that's probably a good idea?
Not at all. You're right. He made us into a basketball school, that's for sure.
Buddy Martin will join us at 10:15 to talk about just that. He wrote a column for Southern Pigskin tonight, the Martin Chronicles, Say It Ain't So. So we'll talk with Buddy about the legacy of Billy Donovan. Friend of the program texted Buddy and I earlier this week and said that somebody told him, good riddance, Billy Donovan. We're glad to be rid of you. What? I don't know what you're smoking, pal, but it's only legal in Washington and Denver and Colorado. It's not legal here. Whoever that was that said good riddance. But Billy Donovan takes over an OKC team that is poised to win now if Kevin Durant can come back from an injury. Russell Westbrook, who during Kevin Durant's injury stepped up and became a premier basketball player in this league. He was already a very good basketball player in this league, but with Kevin Durant out, Russell Westbrook became a dominant premier player in the NBA. I'll defer to intern Luke because I hate to say interns are smarter than me about anything, but Luke likes the NBA. He watches the NBA. Luke, am I okay in saying that Russell Westbrook, in Kevin Durant's absence, has made himself into a premier NBA player?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I mean, as far as Billy going there goes, Billy's got a season to really prove himself, because after this next season, Kevin Durant is on the market. Westbrook can opt for a trade if Durant does leave. So he's got one season, one shot to really convince these players that he's here and he's there now, and he's running it, and he's running it well. So
Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook went on to Twitter, talked to a lot of ex-Gator basketball players. Kevin Durant said him and Al Horford have had lots of conversations. I would think Joakim Noah, Al Horford, Chandler Parsons, Corey Brewer. You reach out to these guys because, Corey Brewer, Joakim Noah, and Al Horford know about winning championships with Billy Donovan. Mm-hmm. So, NBA players are doing their due diligence. Speaking of the NBA, we're smack in the middle of round one, and round one in the playoffs is usually ho-hum, not what chalk usually wins. 1 beats 8, 2 beats 7, 3 beats 6, and then 4 or 5 is usually a good series. That's not the case this year.
Not a polar
3 and
opposite.
6 in the West is pretty much a good basketball series.
Well, and 4 and even 4 and 5 in the East, it was swept. It wasn't even 5 beat to 4.
Yeah.
It was swept. It wasn't even a toss up. So
Right. So let's talk about the 3-6 in the West because Game 7 is tonight. Is it tonight?
yes,
Game 7 tonight. The defending champion San Antonio Spurs, the 6th seed, taking on the Los Angeles Clippers, the 3 seed. And it's kind of funny. The Spurs lost Game 1, and I thought, well, age just caught up with them. But then they won 2 games in a row, one in L.A. and then the first one back in San Antonio. And you said, uh-oh, here comes Pop. Then the Clippers won Game 4 in San Antonio. So now it's 2-2. You go back, you think, well, going back to L.A., it's going to be 3-2 L.A., and then San Antonio is going to have to play for their playoff lives in Game 6. Nope, the Clippers lose Game 5 at home. Come back to San Antonio, you say, well, now the Spurs are at home. They know how to close out a series. Nope, the Clippers win in San Antonio. Very strange series, down 2-1, and now the visiting team has won every game since.
yeah. It's almost like the visiting team is almost like has the home team advantage. It's really weird. It's flip flopped entirely this series, and I really don't know what's going to happen tonight after watching these past few.
Of course, also tonight. Oh, no, that's right. They won last night. They don't have to play another game. The Atlanta Hawks finally disposed of the Brooklyn Nets in the first round, albeit a much closer series than anybody suspected it would be. A Brooklyn team that is 10 games under 500 that, by the way, Luke and I, the intern Luke and I, agree, no business in the NBA playoffs. None. Luke and I were looking at it last week. We didn't get a chance to talk about it on the radio. We think we should go. The NBA should go to a 16-team format where it's the 16 best records. And some of the matchups you would have seen the Cavaliers play the Bulls in round 1. That would have been fun because of records. That would have been fun.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think they play the next series, so they're matched up to each other. So we'll see. But
it would have been round 1.
It would have been round 1, and that would have been. It's almost like seeing the Clippers and Spurs play. It's almost sad to see one of them leave the first round.
It really is. So out west, Golden State still the cream of the crop. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's amazing how just, Mark Jackson did all he could do in Golden State, but he couldn't quite get him over the hump. Steve Kerr comes in, and just that little bit of nuance and little new voice and, a different approach. And don't get me wrong, Steve Kerr and Mark Jackson are still very good friends. Steve Kerr talks to him a lot. A lot of things Mark Jackson did at Golden State still in effect with Steve Kerr. But just that little bit of difference transformed a team that won 50 games a year and made the playoffs as a 3 or 4 seed into the dominant team in the West. My question to you is, can the West remain important without the Los Angeles Lakers being good anymore?
Yeah, I think that's they can do that for sure. The whole West as an entirety is they've just taken a whole new personality and really overwhelms the East and in every way possible. And I really don't think that obviously I haven't thought about the Lakers at all.
But does the NBA in the long run need the Lakers to be good?
Maybe for the sake of old times, but I think the Warriors are looking to take over that historic, trying to make history with repeatedly being good with Steph Curry.
But if you shut out that Los Angeles TV market, because nobody in Los Angeles is watching basketball right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the Clipper fans are, but we know the Clipper fans aren't the majority of fans in L.A. Can the NBA be good with the Clippers in L.A. being good instead of the Lakers? Just like you need Boston in the East, really. To make it, you need Boston or the Knicks, and the Knicks are terrible, but you need that big city, that big basketball city to be good. Like, there's nobody in the East, yet LeBron James in the East. That's the only thing that makes you really interested in the East is LeBron James plays in the East. Because Atlanta, 8.5 million people, one of the biggest TV markets in the country. Nobody cares about the Hawks. They're the number 1 seed in the East. They don't have any superstar, and nobody really thinks that they should even be a number one seed. And the way they played against Brooklyn, I'd have to say I may agree with that. But they're not good for NBA. Nobody's going to watch an NBA final that has, a lot of the country won't watch an NBA final, in my opinion, that has the Golden State Warriors and the Atlanta Hawks in it. How many people would watch the New York Knicks and the Los Angeles Lakers?
Well, yeah, the Knicks and the Lakers, they've really, like, since the start of the NBA, they've built that credibility and they've built that fan base for so long that they've got so many loyal fans that you're right. Without them, the market is going down for viewers because they don't have those fans watching.
Speaking of loyal fans, a loyal Gator fan all his life, Buddy Martin. He'll join us after the break to talk about Billy Donovan moving on after 19 years at the University of Florida, now the head coach at the Oklahoma City Thunder. That conversation next on the Saturday Sports Page, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
May is Watch Month. It's also a time to start thinking about that special graduate in your life. A terrific line of watches at Goss & Son Jewelers will make the perfect gift for that graduate. Rolex, Tag Heuer, Phillips Stein. For graduation, birthdays, anniversaries, check out the line of fine watches and jewelry at Goss & Son Jewelers just to say I love you. Goss & Son Jewelers, the oldest Rolex jeweler in Central Florida, downtown Ocala for 65 years. Cyrus Rug Gallery is the third-generation Oriental rug dealer and producer located on the historic downtown square in Ocala. We specialize in Persian and Oriental rugs and services, offering the best combination of quality and value with a lifetime guarantee, while also providing chemical-free hand washing and hand repair done by our native experts. That's Cyrus Rug Gallery, 20 Southeast Broadway in Ocala.
Proud sponsor of the Mother of All Mother's Day, right here on WOCA The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz.
Hi, I'm State Farm agent Angie Lewis. Come see me and my team for all your insurance and financial needs in the beautiful downtown historic district, 416 East Fort King Street, or call 291-2444.
Shop at Shannon Roth Collection for your special sum on this Mother's Day. We'll guide you to the perfect gift to make you a winner in your lady's eyes. We have hobo handbags, 4 new cutting-edge jewelry lines, 6 new apparel lines, shoes, that on-the-go favorite as well, chocolate. And don't forget, we have free gift wrapping to make your shopping experience a breeze at Shannon Roth Collection. The Shannon Roth Collection located on the historic square in downtown Ocala.
Hi, it's Lisa Midget, owner of the Proper Tease Salon in downtown Ocala. We are a Wella Professional Color Global Elite Salon, which basically means we really know what we're doing for your hair. We also specialize in Brazilian blowouts, hot heads extensions, and fabulous haircuts for men and women. We are located across from the downtown post office next to Southside Deli. Call us today for your appointment at 352-351-1771 or visit our website, properteasesalon.com. The Proper Tease Salon, giving classy a kick in the sassy. Come see us.
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Page. I'm your host, Tom Schmitz. Buddy Martin was supposed to join us at 10:15. He's had to push his back till 10:30, but no worries. We now have on the phone with us Jason Linhart, the general manager of the Ocala Golf Club, joining us from the Ocala Golf Club. Jason, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tom.
How are you this morning, sir? How are conditions out there to go? It looks beautiful, blue sky. Conditions have to be great for golf today.
Oh, this is perfect weather. You're not going to sweat so much out there, and you're going to enjoy a beautiful round of golf if you get a chance to get outside, and you can enjoy anything out in the day on a day like today, actually.
Well, let's talk a little bit of golf. Let's talk PGA for me, if you don't mind. The World Golf Championship match play is going on, but not really match play until today. They started Wednesday. They had 3 round robin matches. I'm used to match play where you play, you lose, you go home. That didn't happen this time. You play, you lose, you play again, you lose. You still play a third time on Friday, and then you can go home 0-3 because the eliminations start today. The match play match play actually starts today. Do you think this is a good format the PGA's come up with?
Well, I think the jury's out. I think what they tried to do, of course, was try to appease some players that would come in and didn't want to go home right away. Underneath that, I do think it deprives us as viewers to watch that match play format because it's something that we relate to out here because we play more match play matches in our day to day than they do than you do a 4-day event where you're just counting strokes. So I don't know. I think I have mixed emotions on it. I can go either way. I really enjoyed the match play, the format when they, especially because it's one of my favorite things are the Ryder events and President's Cup, and I think all roads in golf lead to those 2 events, and I look forward to them. And I really like watching the intensity and the difference in the way the players on the tour play. I think something happened yesterday showing you a little bit of the passion.
Boy, I'd say Keegan Bradley and Angel Jimenez.
Yeah, 2 of them. Go ahead.
They got face-to-face with each other yesterday over something Jimenez supposedly said to Keegan Bradley's caddy or something about shut up or something. I mean, for 2 guys that were both 0-3 and having 0-2 and having no shot to move on, they still had their heads in it looked like.
Yeah, it really did, and I think that's, what match play brings to the table because I think there's not 2 nicer guys, but definitely they're very passionate players apparently, and they certainly let it come out yesterday.
Well, Keegan Bradley, though, tweeted out after the round that he was on the practice range getting in some practice, and Angel Jimenez walked by with a pair of aviator sunglasses on, a cigar going, and a bottle of wine. Maybe he is the coolest man ever.
That's it.
All right, Jason,
awesome, yes.
Jason, I'm a little jealous of you. I'm gonna let some people know something about you. You went to 2 sporting events this year that I'm a little jealous of. Well, actually, one was last year, one was this year. One was in middle of December, and then one was a few weeks ago. You went to the Army-Navy game, quite possibly one of the it is a bucket list of mine football game. You go to the Army-Navy game, and then you go to the Masters. Are you living right or what?
I can't complain about that. I'm very fortunate to have a cousin that has a daughter that goes to West Point, and I was a season ticket holder when I lived up north to West Point because my kids were into football, and the one thing you could do is you really could afford season tickets. I can get 4 season tickets to the West Point games at affordable cost, where if you try to get any other kind of NFL or other college, you're spending thousands of dollars. And, of course, West Point plays Division A and, Division I football, so you get to see some really good football. So when the opportunity comes knocking where they say, hey, I have a ticket for you because, his daughter being in there, I jumped all over it. And the
Masters.
Yeah, the Masters. As long as my PGA card gets me in there, I'm going to go. It never wears thin on you. I mean, you never get used to it. It's always like the first time is definitely the most memorable, but you still get goosebumps every time you step on what I like to call golf heaven on earth. So
I've told people numerous times because I lived in that area. I grew up, my formative years, my late teens, most of my 20s in the area, either Statesboro or I actually lived in Augusta and was a bar manager at that Fridays right there 2 blocks from the National on the Washington Road. So I've been to the National probably 10 times in my lifetime for rounds and probably another 10 or 15 for practice rounds. And I try to explain to people just what you said. No matter how many times you've been there, when you walk on and you see those grounds that first day of the next year you happen to get there, when you walk on those grounds the first day, it really does take your breath away.
It really does. And everything's green, and you just feel the traditions. You feel a whole difference from the people, the audience. I mean, they're so behaved in such a way, the players, and just the members up there, the things they do, and how they do it is just first rate, first class, and you really feel like they take you in consideration. You fill out surveys behind 17 booths, the bleachers, and then down by Amen Corner, they give you surveys and they ask you questions, and apparently they listen. Because they turn around and things happen. The one thing that we noticed that they didn't have ketchup out on, for their sandwiches in the condiment stand. So I'm sure if someone writes it down next year, you'll see ketchup on the condiment. I don't know if it was just there, but it was just something the young lady I took with me pointed out. So it's just, you're right. It's Goosebump City, and you just feel everything that they do. We can go park for free. I mean, how about that? I mean,
where can you do that at? Speaking of tradition, we had another successful installment of the Henry N. Camp Invitational over the past weekend at Muni or Ocala Golf Club. Talk a minute about what the Henry N. Camp Invitational means to Ocala Golf Club.
Well, it certainly does mean a load of tradition that all focuses on Ocala. I mean, this was my first one, Tom, as you know, and it was a learning experience for me. And I started just 6 months ago, right before the Oswald, which is one of the other big events that are held there, and I was captivated by there. But this one was a little bit more on steroids. I mean, it is sort of like a Masters for amateurs. I mean, if it's not the best, it's got to be right up there in the top amateur event in the state of Florida. And we draw all the strongest players to come out and play, and it's well run.
The Yancey family does a great job.
They really do, and from their father, and this year we dedicated to the mother who had passed last year after the camp, so they had a little dedication and memorial for her, which was so special, which made it took it up a little bit of a notch. But no, this camp went very well. The golf course was in great condition. The staff was ready, and the players came out, and I don't think I received any negative comment throughout the whole event. And they played through some weather, and the course changed almost daily.
Now, you were there all the way through. You saw the winner was Tyler Hitchner. He won in a one-hole playoff.
Fine young gentleman.
Fine young man from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We had him on the radio on Monday. Now, let me ask you, this was your first camp. Were you surprised by the gallery that stayed around to watch the final golfers come in?
I probably took about 75 pictures, and about 65 of those pictures was of the gallery moving. All these golf carts just maneuvering around the golf. I mean, it was it was phenomenal. That was an experience. I got to admit that probably would be my biggest takeaway, because I've been around golf for a while, and I'm used to seeing some good golf play, which definitely saw. But I never saw the gallery and how intense they were as they gathered around the hole, and they were really into it. And, Dave Griffin and Mr. Hitchner provided a wonderful finish to the camp, going into a playoff hole. And I'm sure, as everyone knows, the shot that birdied the number one hole in the playoff hole to beat Dave was just a wonderful shot as well. So we saw some great golf.
Great golf. About 85 yards out of the pine tree to pine straw to about 3.5 feet below the hole. An amazing shot by the eventual winner, Tyler Hitchner from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Talking about the condition of the golf course. Oh, and by the way, before we get to the condition of the golf course, next year maybe Billy Casper gets you one of those drones so you can put those up in the air and take an aerial view of all the carts moving. I bet it looks like a bunch of ants running around that way. That might be a pretty good idea for you. Hey, talking to the condition of the golf course, I mean, your superintendent, and I know it's the guy that stays in the back shadows, but tell people who your superintendent is and the great job he's doing out there.
Wes Pitts is our superintendent. He came down here, was hired in August of last year, so this was his first camp as well. He came down and immediately made us some impact. I think he brought a passion that might have not been there in the past, and that funneled out to his team. So these guys are out there working really hard, and they really care, and it's reflecting in the detailed work. I mean, we're a municipal golf course. We pound out a lot of rounds, and we don't have any fancy budgets or anything like that. So the fact that the golf course has improved since his time there is a testimony to not only his knowledge but his passion and his leadership. I think everything is worn down to the guys that are out there, and they want to take this golf course up to the next level, and they're doing that. I know, because I get to work with him on a daily basis and talk with him, I know that this golf course isn't even at the goals and conditions of which he wants them to be. And
it's
we need is
it's in amazing shape right now, even if it's not up to his goals. If he gets it to where he wants it to be, I don't think I'll be good enough to play it. I'll be seeing you out there later this afternoon to play around the golf. If somebody wants to play around the golf today, tell them how they can go about it.
Well, they just give us a jingle up there or just show up. We do take walk-ins. We have a website you can make tee times out there, ocalagolfclub.com. Give us a jingle at 352-401-6917. I'm glad I can remember these numbers. Just give us a call. On a beautiful day like today, get out an emergency 18, and you have daylight now almost up to 8 o'clock. So we love to see you. We love to show you what's happening out there, and we're looking forward to the summer. This is going to be we're ramping up for all the summer activities. So,
Jason Linhart, the general manager of Ocala Golf Club, Billy Casper Run Golf Club, you, your staff, Chris Halley, Brooke, your new food and beverage manager, Wes, everything that's going on out there. Kudos from me. I know that doesn't mean much, but kudos for me, and thanks for coming on and joining us this morning.
Well, it means a lot from you, Tom. First of all, and I'm happy to join you, and I'll look forward to seeing you out there this afternoon.
All right, Jason, thanks so much. Jason Linhart of the Ocala Golf Club. We're going to take a break. We come back. Buddy Martin joins us talking Billy Donovan and his departure from the University of Florida right here on the Saturday Sports Page, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Guy Harvey Checking is now exclusively available at Gateway Bank. With Guy Harvey Checking, you will receive Gateway's premium checking account, plus several other Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation features, including membership to the Guy Harvey Hammerhead Nation, free Guy Harvey t-shirt, and an exclusive Guy Harvey debit card. At Gateway Bank, we will make a $50 donation to the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation for every new account opened. This is just one more reason why people choose Gateway Bank. Sign up today for your exclusive Guy Harvey Checking account with Gateway. Details available at gatewaybankcfl.com, member FDIC.
Does osteoarthritis bring frustration with every step? Do pain and stiffness affect your everyday activities? If so, you may be interested in a research study for the treatment of pain associated with osteoarthritis. Rendstar Medical Research is conducting a research study of an investigational medication for individuals between the ages of 40 and 75 and who have been treated for the pain associated with osteoarthritis for at least 3 months. Qualified participants will receive study-related medical care and investigational medication. Compensation for time and travel will be provided. To learn more about this osteoarthritis study, please call Rendstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. Again, that's 352-629-5800. Whenever you're searching for an attorney, you want somebody with knowledge who has a commitment to our community and our state, such as the case with Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, in everything from car and other motor vehicle accidents, work accidents, personal injury, and wrongful death cases. Daniel L. Hightower also handles Social Security disability and bankruptcy. Call him today at 352-629-7777 or check out danhightower.com. Daniel L. Hightower, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976.
When you were a kid, you had all sorts of toys. Toy cars, boats, trucks, entire toy boxes full of fun. Of course, you never really outgrow your toys, do you? It's just that now, instead of a box full, you have a garage full. Cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, ATVs, and more. As you get older, your love of toys just gets stronger. So protect those toys the best way possible by switching to Allstate. An Allstate agent can help do the switching, paperwork, bundle all your policies together, and even find you a bunch of discounts. So if you love your toys, make sure you protect your toys by making one call to an Allstate agent.
Protect all your toys with Allstate and the McDonald Agency. Established in 1985, we have offices in Ocala and the Villages to better serve you. Give us a call at 622-2333. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Are you in good hands?
Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Page. I'm your host, Tom Schmitz, along with intern Luke. Now we go out to the phone lines to columnist Buddy Martin, host of the Voice of Ocala, Buddy Sports Page, longtime columnist for national newspapers. Pretty much the guy that taught me everything I know. He's on the phone with us now. Buddy, good morning to you.
Boy, I tell you, I hope you don't blame me for that, because I don't know like that.
Well, that way, if I fail miserably, everybody will blame you.
Yeah, it'll be splashed all over me. I get it. Well, I'm willing to take that chance.
Buddy, sad news or, inevitable news out of Gainesville this week, as Billy Donovan steps down after 19 years at the University of Florida, head coach extraordinaire, took a basketball program that had seen some success with Lon Kruger and Norm Sloan, but takes a team that was just something that people thought about as a filler until football season at a football university, turns it into a national powerhouse, arguably one of the 3 or 4 best coaches in the game towards the end of his tenure at the University of Florida. 2 national championships, countless trips to the Sweet 16. 2 seasons ago, was in the Final Four. 50 years old, steps down to take a job in the NBA. Surprising to you?
Well, everything he said was understated, because you measure all man by what he does off the court. In that regard, he's a giant. I don't know. I tried to express it in the column I wrote this morning, which I think is about to be posted on Southern Big Scan and is on Facebook. And when you write a column, you try to keep an even hand and be, somewhat objective about it, because you don't want to fill it up with your personal dislikes and likes and what have you. You want to kind of look at it from a long view. And this one I just couldn't, because I felt a sense of personal loss for the Gator Nation and for myself and for my city. And as I wrote in the column, it's almost like they took a chunk out of the Century Tower on campus. Because when you take a Billy Donovan away after 19 years, the impact he's had on people around him, not to mention his basketball credentials. If you read the article, you'll see that I quoted Pat Forty talking about why he's the second greatest coach behind Adolph Rupp in the SEC history and what he has done there. That is in itself quite an achievement. But I love Billy Donovan for other reasons. And I love his genuine humility, number one. He is one of the most humble people I have ever been around in my life, coach or no coach. I love his sense of loyalty, the sincerity. And I love the fact that for all these years, he's brought his show to our town in Ocala. And for 17 years, he came to the coaching staff and with his friend Augie Griner, the late Augie Griner Sr., and they put on quite a spectacle every year. Couple hundred, sometimes 200 people there. No holds barred, fun, fundraisers for scholarships. Augie and Billy interacted like nobody you've ever seen. It was like a comedy hour, and it was just a sincerity and a commitment to Augie, because when Billy came to town, the first person that he met and got to know was Augie, and Augie told me, I don't even know if Billy wants to do this. I know the last coaches did, Lon did. I'm not sure how this will go. Well, it was a love affair between Billy and Augie. And as Augie got sick later, and of course passed away, the first club meeting when it was named the Augie Griner Gator Tip-Off Club, Billy was there. I spoke to him after, and he said to me, as long as the Griner family wants me to do this, I'll continue to do it. Remember that thing. He didn't do this for anybody else, including Gator clubs, including people in Gainesville. This was just Ocala. There are a lot of people in Ocala and Marion County today who have a little tear in their eye. They not just like Billy. They don't just like the Gator basketball program. They love Billy Donovan.
You quoted Pat Forty in your column as saying the list of college football national titles in both football and basketball at the same school is exactly one. And the Gators have won 3 in football, 2 in basketball. You make a point to note that the cul-de-sac of champions had 2 neighbors, Billy Donovan and Urban Meyer, living right near each other. And Urban said, I could get great advice from walking down my driveway and sitting in my neighbor's chair. That's high kudos from arguably the best football coach in college football, saying he would go get advice from Billy Donovan.
Yeah, if you read the article, Urban texted me last night and said, I quoted the text in there of him saying he changed Florida basketball forever. I'm really happy for my neighbor. And then he went on to tell me a little bit more detail about how he knew Billy was wrestling with us. You know, it's something that he really, really had to think through. It was tugging at him, because what he went through last time when he took the Magic job and then changed his mind was torture. And believe me, it was torture for Billy before he made his final decision to go to Oklahoma City. And I applaud his decision, and I think it was the right one. Just a sad time for Gator fans, and especially in Marion County.
Well, there's really, you see those MasterCard commercials where they say, I could do one right now. Basketball, $45. Basketball shoes, $185. Practice, rugged and tough. Coach Billy Donovan on the sideline, priceless.
Yeah, and Tom, like I said in the article, you won't be able to judge this for 20 years. And then the next generation will look back and think, wow, what did they do to win all those national championships back then? To have 2 coaches like Meyer and Billy. And remember, Urban was here just 5 or 6 years, and Billy was here 19. And then it's about relationships. It's about winning and all the things you accomplish. But nonetheless, you can be a champion and not be a nice guy, or be a real person, I guess. This is one of the nicest, sweetest people I've ever known in my life. Absolutely. As I said, I remember him grieving over he and Christina the loss of a child when he was Billy the Kid at age whatever his 30s was, early 40s. And I remember him grieving as Billy the Man of the loss of his friend Augie Griner. And he genuinely felt things and felt people and was compassionate. So I don't want to go overboard here, but because I know I can get kind of emotional myself about it. But I really feel that I feel joy and I feel sadness today.
Well, buddy, I'm looking out here out the front window of WOCA, and, you know, we see this every day. We see these bronze horse statues that kind of epitomize Ocala, you know, the horse capital of the world. I think of Florida Field, and there's three bronze statues of Tim Tebow, Coach Steven Spurrier, and Danny Werfel, all three Heisman trophies. Is it about time, or is it time, or should there be the discussion of a bronze statue being built in front of the O'Connell Center?
Yeah, and that's what I said, or I wrote that. I said, get ready, Jeremy Foley, to add not one but two statues of neighbors on the championship cul-de-sac, because certainly Urban will be up there someday, and Billy Donovan will be there too. When you put a statue up for somebody, that means something, and they are statue worthy, both of those guys. I just feel privileged to have been around this program in recent years, since about 2000, well, a long time, but especially since 2005. And it's why it's difficult to really to get behind what's happening in Gainesville sometimes, because we've seen the best, Tom. We've been around the best and seen the best. You know, and by comparison, no matter who they bring in here as coach, I'm sorry, it's not going to be as good as it was with Billy Donovan. I'm not saying that whoever they get, Patino's son or whoever might come in and do it, but it's just we have seen the mountain, my friend, and it was Billy Donovan and in that era he coached Urban Meyer.
Let me ask you this, buddy. The thought just hit me. At Alabama, no matter how good Nick Saban is, we all know he'll never be Bear Bryant. We all know that no matter how good a UCLA coach will be, the UCLA could win lots of championships, there'll never be another John Wooden. We know Mike Krzyzewski and Dean Smith at their respective colleges, Duke and North Carolina. No matter how good the coaches are that come in, they'll always be compared to Krzyzewski and Dean Smith. The University of Florida already, no matter how good, Urban Meyer fought it his whole time, won 2 national championships, and everybody said, yeah, but he's no Stephen or Spurrier. How many universities, Florida being the only one I can think of, will now have a basketball coach and a football coach at their respective jobs, where people say, yeah, but he's no Steve Spurrier. Yeah, but he's no Billy Donovan. I don't know of any other university that has that kind of prestige at both the basketball and football head coaching positions.
Now you're beginning to understand what I said when I said 20 years down the road, you look back at it. That is what you will see, and that is what you will appreciate. And, you know, Urban had to fight the image of Spurrier, and it tormented him. And, you know, as he said in his opening press conference, Urban did that day, asking about visors, he said, I don't wear a visor, but if I did, I wouldn't wear one around here. He appreciated the fact what Spurrier, and look, give props to Urban even more for coming behind it and winning 2 national championships. There will be maybe another coach to win a national championship in Florida, probably not in my lifetime, basketball, but to go 19 years, Tom. 12 was long with Spurrier. That was a long time. You know, it used to be coaches stayed about 5-6 years, except for the days of Bear Bryant, et cetera, et cetera. So to do it for 19 years is amazing. To do it with class and dignity and great success is amazing. I'm not much of an NBA fan. I'm getting myself on my Dish TV. I'm going to be watching the Oklahoma City Thunder from now on. That's my team in the NBA.
Tell you what, buddy. I'm not an NBA guy, but I watch a Billy Donovan coach basketball team. And the thing is, I hope Gator fans understand, it wasn't as easy as he made it look all those 20-game seasons.
Which we're about to find out.
All right, Buddy Martin, if they want to find this column, it'll be up later today on southernpigskin.com. You can find it at Buddy Martin's Facebook page right now. Buddy, thanks for joining us, and I'll see you Monday, pal.
Who's the new guy you got working with there?
He's adequate in a pinch, I think.
Yeah, well, it's pretty good whoever he is.
He's no JJ LaSalva, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he might be. He might be better. You never know.
That's what Luke's doing. He's doing the same thing Urban had to do, and whoever comes behind Billy has to do. They're going to fight the JJ LaSalva image.
But there's no statue of JJ. Oh, Luke, don't worry about that.
No, JJ has a statue. We just refuse to put it up.
Get him a bobblehead and put it in the window.
You know, funny thing, he emailed me today, buddy, asking me Who you got in the Derby? I'm going with Carpe Diem and American Pharaoh. I texted him back. Way to step out on a ledge here, JJ. Way to go. And then a final note, buddy, before I let you go. El Kabir scratch from the Derby.
Oh, okay. What are they down to? 18 or something?
Yeah.
19?
El Kabir, the Ocala horse, scratch.
Our Ocala horse. So we got nothing.
We got nothing.
So
got nothing.
I can openly root for my choices. American Pharaoh, which has local ties, and now
Carpe Diem.
Carpe Diem, who I picked a long time ago. That's my horse.
You did, Buddy Martin.
Good luck.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you Monday.
All right, buddy.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the sports page, Saturday sports page, by going over a little bit of the NFL draft right here on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
Right on the southwestern corner of the square sits one of the finest dining establishments in Florida, Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant. Mark's offers big city dining amenities in a charming and small town setting. It's a rare treat to experience both the ambiance and the exquisite cuisine in a friendly atmosphere. Ocala's finest restaurant serves the finest beef, the freshest seafood, premium wines, and naturally fresh vegetables. From valet parking to splendid service, Mark's offers the complete package. Check it out today. Mark's Prime Seafood and Steakhouse Restaurant.
Hello, I'm Tom Schmitz, here to tell you about Ocus, a great resource for any business and a proud partner of the CEP. Ocus offers your business radically new technology called Next Generation Websites. Sites that do not wear out, they automatically adapt to new technology like smartphones, tablets, and the next big thing. Why pay for technology that starts becoming obsolete the moment you buy it? With Ocus, there is so much more. Built into the Ocus platform is an unmatched array of business solutions adaptable to any business. Ocus is a superb example that cutting-edge technology can grow and prosper in Marion County. And I should know because they handle my website, ktforfun.com. Ocus has assisted numerous companies in Marion County that have succeeded online. You can learn more by visiting them online at ocus.com. That's OCOOS.com, or drop by their downtown Ocala location at 116 South Magnolia Avenue. Find out how Ocus can provide your business with everything you need to succeed online.
The next drink is on Dave Del Rio at Eaton's Beach Sand Barn Grill. Just ask him for it. But don't wait. Show up soon because this offer isn't going to last very long. Eaton's Beach Sand Barn Grill will be filling up fast because their friends from the north are headed back that way soon. The good news is that seating is now available and Dave's buying the first drink. If you've been hearing about the crowd at Eaton's Beach Sand Barn Grill and couldn't get in, now you can see firsthand what your friends have been talking about. Great food. Try Chef Dave's tantalizing Floresiana menu. Great location. Check out those gorgeous sunsets over Lake Weir. Great people. Starting with Chef Dave Del Rio, who began his career in 1978. This spicy guy has been instrumental in opening over 100 restaurants. And he's buying you a drink. Eaton's Beach Sand Barn Grill, where there's little or no waiting these days. Come see what started out as Jay Eaton's dream almost 90 years ago. It's more awesome than ever.
Recently on Southern Pigskin Tonight, Coach Steve Spurrier talked about quarterbacks going into spring practice.
We don't know who it's going to be yet, buddy. We got 3 that'll fight it out this spring. I doubt that I will name one at the end of the spring because we got an incoming freshman, Lorenzo Nunez. It's a tremendous athlete, good runner, and good passer.
So join us every Thursday at 5 p.m. for Southern Pigskin Tonight, right here on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source. Welcome back to the Saturday Sports Page. I'm your host, Tom Schmitz. Time to start going over the draft as it enters its third day today. Rounds 4 through 7 will be played today. And it will be played, listen to me, will be done today in Chicago. I'm just going to go hit the highlights of the first round as we're wrapping up the first hour of the And we're wrapping up the entire hour, look at me, of the Saturday Sports Page. The number 1 overall pick by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everyone knew this, no surprise here. Jameis Winston out of Florida State University. Graded out at 6.7 according to NFL.com. And really, we knew this pick 3 months ago, Luke, that Jameis Winston was going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah. We we saw that one coming for sure. So
We did. Number 2 to the Titans, Marcus Mariota, and that's the one that kind of nobody knew if the Titans were going to be able to trade down and get a bunch of draft picks, or if Philadelphia was going to make it all for Chip Kelly trying to get Marcus Mariota to Philadelphia. But Marcus Mariota goes to the Tennessee Titans, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars take from the University of Florida Dante Fowler Jr., defensive end / outside linebacker, probably going to play outside linebacker from a rushing situation in the NFL. And nobody's talking about this, but 2 of the first 3 guys, Florida State. Right here in our home state, Florida State with the number 1 overall pick, Florida with the number 3 overall pick. People always talk about how good football is at the state of Florida, and I guess this draft has proved that out with the top 2 of the top 3 picks from the state of Florida.
yeah, absolutely. Florida's really. I mean, I can't say that I like Florida State, but I also can't deny that they had a great program this past season for sure. And as far as the Titans go with Mariota, I was looking at what they predicted and some of the expert who they predicted, and a lot of them were predicting Titans to pick defensive linemen or offensive linemen, going for someone like that. But then they kind of surprised some people, including myself when I saw Mariota got picked second. But I like Mariota, so I'm happy for him for that.
Sounds like the end of Zach Mettenberger's career in Tennessee as a starter, because you don't take a guy 2nd overall in this draft and not use him as a starter. The Jaguars, they went with Dante Fowler, like we said. I liked what Buddy thought. Buddy thought that the Jags should have went with Amari Cooper to get some weapons for Blake Bortles, the number 3 pick last year by the Jags out of University of Central Florida. Then they have the number 3 pick again this year and take defense. I thought that Amari Cooper getting Blake Bortles some weapons might have helped a little better there. But he goes number 4 to Alabama. The Falcons and the number 8 pick, the reason I tell you about the Falcons is because it's my favorite team. It's all about me. They take Vic Beasley, the outside linebacker and pass rusher from Clemson. University of Miami gets on the board with Eric Flowers, an offensive guard, 6'6", 329 pounds. He's taken 9th overall by the New York Giants. They're trying to get Eli Manning some protection, because let's be honest, Manning, when Eli Manning has protection, he's very, very good, is evident by his 2 Super Bowl rings. When he has no protection, Eli will just throw that ball up and run. He doesn't care. He
also evident from this past season.
Yeah, also evident from the rest of his career, because Eli Manning, if he gets you, he doesn't like to get hit. His brother Peyton will stand in there and just get smacked. But Eli is quick to just bail, run, and, hey, here's the ball. Y'all do whatever you want with it. So you need to get Eli some. The Miami Dolphins with the 14th pick, they take Devontae Parker, wide receiver out of Louisville. It's kind of surprised me. Miami's got a pretty good receiving core. I thought Miami might go a little more defense here, but they take Devontae Parker out of Louisville. Florida State gets its 2nd pick in the 1st round as Cameron Irving surprised everybody, the center. Cleveland Browns took him. It's a pick they got from the Bills. Cameron Irving, I think you could have got later in this draft, so that's a surprise to me. The Florida Gators have another draft pick, DJ Humphries, offensive tackle. He goes to the Cardinals with the 24th pick. Carolina Panthers, they take Shaq Thompson, outside linebacker from Washington. Then the University of Central Florida has another 1st-round pick. 2 years in a row, they got a 1st-round draft choice. Wide receiver Brashard Perryman. If you remember, he's the guy that in the American Athletic Conference game caught the Hail Mary pass to beat East Carolina. Brashard Perryman goes to the Baltimore Ravens, going to be catching passes from Joe Flacco. And then the University of Miami gets on the board again with Philip Dorsett. He went to the Colts at the 29th pick. I thought Dorsett was a 2nd-round pick. For him to go into the 1st round really, really surprised me. Then you got in the 2nd round, the Raiders with the 3rd pick in the 2nd round take Mario Edwards Jr., a defensive tackle out of Florida State. Then with the 7th round, Eddie Goldman from Florida State in the 7th pick in the 2nd round. The Bears take Eddie Goldman out of Florida State. Then you got Ronald Darby with the 18th overall pick, the 50th pick total, but the 18th in the 2nd round. He's out of Florida State, cornerback out of Florida State. Miami and Florida, nothing in the 2nd round. And it just shows you now that that's exactly what you would expect from Florida State with the the talent they had, national championship, Heisman Trophy winner. Then they were back in the national championship tournament last year. You know, under Jameis Winston's guidance, they only lost one football game ever under his guidance. So a lot of talent with that Florida State team, and you had expected it to do well in the draft. P.J. Williams, right here from Ocala, he goes to the Saints at a pick they got from the Dolphins, the 78th overall pick, 14 in the third round. So P.J. Williams, now a New Orleans Saints out of Florida State. I'd like to thank my guest today, Jason Linhart, the general manager of Ocala Golf Club, and, of course, Buddy Martin, for joining us on the Saturday Sports Page. For Luke the Intern, I'm Tom Schmitz. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Hey, Tom, what's the best advice your mother ever gave you?
Probably.
Push away from the table.
Yeah, probably.
That advice.
No,
Well,
not really.
if you want to brag on your mother's advice, the best thing you can do is enter our Mother of All Mother's Day